Now that we've completed our hammer handle, we'll start our hammer head. We'll take our brass stock that will be sitting at the saw and we'll cut it down to size. Now that we have our brass stock chucked up, so we come around to the back end of the saw and we measure it out. Now that we have our part clamped and we've measured it, we're ready to cut it. Now that we've cut our part, we'll go ahead and chuck it up in the lathe and start our operations. Now with our part chucked up, we're going to grab our facing tool and face our part. Make sure to clamp it down, bring down the hood, we'll pull it up on our power. Now we're ready to go. Now with our facing done, we'll go ahead and move to our chamfer. Take our facing tool out, put it on the tool post, take our chamfering tool, and sit it in place. Now this one is slightly different than the other one in the sense that it is an analog, so you do not have a digital readout. The way to do it is you'll touch off like you can see here. Touch off on the side of my part, exactly the same, except you're going to set your zero differently. You're going to use this dial to set your zero. You move it clockwise until you move your bottom dial or your inside dial. Set your zero for your inside, and then turn it counterclockwise to set that dial for your outside. Set them both at zero, back off slightly, and go ahead and turn on your lathe. And we're going to dive in 125 thousandths. With the chamfer done, we'll now unchuck our part, flip it around, and do the same exact two operations. Now with those operations done, we'll go ahead and unchuck it and take it over to the mill. Here at the mill, we can drill and tap everything for our hammer head to fit our handle. The first thing to do is to turn on our mill. This is done by flipping the red switch at the back of the machine and pressing the green button. Now that our mill's on, we'll put the parallels in to set our part on. With our part resting on our parallels, we're ready to start milling. We'll go ahead and put our surface mill in the machine. This is done by keying the shaft in proper place. Once this is accomplished, you can spin the nut at the top, tightening the surface mill in place. Make sure to break it and use the wrench to further tighten it. With this done, we'll touch off our surface mill and get the proper dimensions. We'll move our part under our surface mill using the X travel. Once our part is directly under our surface mill, we'll bring it down using the press lever Zero it out and hold it in place. With our surface mill touched off, we'll start our machine and make sure that it's set to around 800 RPM. Once this is done, we'll drop the surface mill 125 thousandths deep and make a pass cut. Now that we're done with all our surface milling operations, we'll switch on over to the drill chuck and drill and tap our hammerhead. Now we're going to use the edge finder to zero out our part. This is done so that we can dimension from one side of our part and find exactly where we need to drill our hole. With it zeroed out, we'll zero it out on the DRO. I'll move to zero it out in the Y as well. We're setting this corner to 0, and from that we can measure in and then up to where the hole needs to be. Now that we're done drilling our hammerhead, we're ready to tap it. We'll do that by inserting a spring-loaded punch into the drill chuck. We'll then take our tap handle with our tap and place it as such.